Ohio. We're high on Ohio. These stories inform and inspire through the words of people who make Ohio home. Good news and good ideas, identifying and acknowledging the excellence that is all around us. I'm joined today by Pastor Bob Ward of the First English Lutheran Church of Columbus. And Bob, it's nice to be here. And tell us a little bit about yourself and what is the mission of this church here?
I've been here at this church for the past 7 years. Our mission is to reach others with the love of Jesus Christ.
Okay.
We are a center of hope for our neighborhood. We're a center of help. We're making disciples here.
But you're a mission church, as I understand it. What's that mean?
It means that in our particular faith tradition, that we've been recognized as a congregation that had gone through a lot of struggles, a lot of changes, and it needs revival. So the Lutheran Church, the ELCA, has been assisting us in reviving this congregation, reconnecting with our neighbors, and being able to reach out to the folks in our neighborhood and start to build a sense of community here again. And
your neighborhood here is low income and disadvantaged.
Yes, we have probably 50% unemployment here. 1 out of 3 houses are vacant and abandoned. I think 78% of our families are single head of household living at or below the poverty level. So yes, if you want to, you can look at it from a huge standpoint of deficiency.
Okay.
But we tend to turn that around and look at it from an asset-based perspective.
How so?
We want to identify the assets, whether it be people or organizations, associations, physical plants, whatever those assets might be, because then we've got something to build on.
So the whole faith community has an active role then in the outreach and urban revitalization, so to speak, and meeting the needs of people that the government has programs to meet, but is still not getting the job done properly for whatever reason.
Right. And we are not a program place. We are a relationship place. One of the first things we want to do when we meet new people is to create a safe, trusting relationship with them. And that way, that gives us a foundation to start to build on. Okay. If we're only doing programs, we're only touching part of a person. Okay. We want to touch the whole person, the whole life.
Bob, we have a portion of this show we call the Mythbusters. So if you'd be so kind as to tell us something that everybody thinks is true, but you know is not true, and can you give us anything to support that assertion on your part?
I would say one of the myths that typically go around here is that we are a neighborhood that doesn't work. We don't want to work. And yet, I will say that probably 75% of our neighborhood works. They have some type of a job. And I didn't think this last recession could hurt us anymore, but it has just knocked the legs right out underneath our neighborhood. It's pushed everybody, because the downward pressure of a recession pushed all of our folks right out of the system and left the McDonald's jobs, the low, the minimum wage jobs that we used to be able to get are taken now. So the qualifications that our folks have, we're not finding anything. One of our challenges is we will identify somebody who's ready to turn their life around, and yet that's a liminal point for them. Mm-hmm. But then the assets, the resources don't seem to be available. We run into CMHA that says, well, yeah, we're not even...
CMHA is?
Columbus Metropolitan Housing Authority, which says we're not even taking any new names for our housing list, our subsidized housing list. Okay. Or, the benefits, that Medicaid, whatever hospitalization might be available, is just not available to this one particular person. So, I mean, housing, education, job, all those things go together.
Let me ask you this question. If you can wait until you're 21 to get married, if you can wait until you're married to have children, and if you can complete a high school education, the odds are only 5% that you will fall into the poverty range. So, that's one of, that is that cause, is that effect, how does that work? Right. But as a mission church, a bastion of faith here.
Mhm.
How do you go ahead and do you have this type of communication with folks about, you have certain, if you can delay certain activities until you get older, that you'll have a positive impact on your lifestyle?
We are working hard to reach out to the children, to try and grow up a new generation with
A different set of values.
exactly.
Yeah.
But oftentimes, what we, our folks are, we're dealing with what is.
Okay.
And what is already broken. So then it becomes a matter of how do we start to help, how do we assist people in putting things back together again.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I've been having a great conversation here with Pastor Bob Ward of First Lutheran Church of Columbus. And tune in tomorrow for our next episode.